Really enjoyed it. I've not been to this golf course before. You can easily see why it's ranked so high up in the top golf course in the world. You know, often in the 50th odd spot in the world. Really enjoyed it. It's got loads of different tests to it. It's long. We've had off the blue tees today. It's very long for where we played it off, but spectacular. Did you enjoy it?
I did. I think there's always pressure coming to a golf course when you know it's going to be what's held in such high regard. But certainly as well, for this time of year, mid-March, the golf course was phenomenal condition. The bunkers were daunting but fair. The fairways were nice and firm and bouncing, so didn't shoot the best score I've ever shot, but hit the ball nicely. And yeah, I came away super impressed and want to come back in the summer for sure.
For me, it's always difficult to rank a golf course because obviously it depends on how you've played. Often the better you played, the higher you rank it. But it's beautiful. This time of year, it was really spectacular. The greens, as Guy mentioned, the greens and fairways were superb. I definitely want to come back and give it another shot in the summer. And I think instantly it'd be higher ranked in my own ranking.
I think we said that on the way around. Again, for time of year, condition was fantastic, but we've definitely got to come back in June, July time on a summer's evening and get back out there, because to see all the heather as well grow and the greens rolling as pure as I know they do here, I think that will be the real time to give it on our ranking. But for me, for this time of year in England, it's up there.
I really enjoyed the golf course. I thought it was amazing. We didn't have quite as good a weather yesterday. I think that the actual layout of the golf course is spectacular. The first couple of holes are really challenging and tough, but you get through those, which I did nicely. I think that the layout's superb. I think there's some incredible holes there. It makes you think. You've got to position your way around. Again, I played off the really bat tees yesterday, and it was wet, so it was a hell of a challenge because it was so long, but I actually really, really enjoyed it. I thought the greens were spectacular. Again, for this time of year, we'd have a lot of rain in the UK, as you know, but yeah, I really loved the layout. I thought it was superb. I just think trees, obviously Bracken's more tree lined and it kind of has natural shaping, so you kind of have to hit it down more of a channel, where obviously a course like this where it's kind of more heather based, like it's sometimes hard to pick a line, like you've got to like commit to a line. There's not saying I'm going to go off that tree and fade it back or draw it back. A bit more blind shots on this golf course, on the Hotchkin, and obviously longer again play off the back tees today, but it didn't feel that much longer because the fairways were bouncy. You're definitely getting more rollout. For me, the kid who's going to, well, I call him a kid who's going to absolutely fly this year is Minwoo Lee. I had the pleasure of playing with him about 4 or 5 years ago at St Andrews. We actually played the golf course in reverse, the old course in reverse. And I've been very fortunate to play with a lot of very good players. He is the best ball striker I've ever played with. I love his character. He's charismatic. He's got this huge social following now. He's embraced social media, which obviously is my world. And I feel like he's one to watch. I think if he gets a couple of really big wins under his belt, which he's capable of doing, I honestly think he could fly this year. I think he's a real special talent. Oh, I think Masters, that's a great one. I think Masters, it's going to be Scott Scheffler. I can't, currently, in his current form, I cannot see past him at the moment. He's just a different level at the moment, but it'll be interesting. The first major, seeing all obviously the PGA guys and the LIV guys back together at the Masters. I think it's going to be a hell of a tournament. I really do. I think that the LIV guys will probably have something to prove, as obviously now John Rahm's now defending champion, is a LIV player. But I think for me, Scotty Scheffler, unquestionably the best golfer in the world right now, and going into such great form, I personally think he'll win the Masters. US Open and US PGA, always difficult to pick. Where my heart goes, I'd love Tommy Fleetwood to win one. I would, he's been really close a couple of times. Certainly, I think, did he shoot the lowest final round in the US Open a few years ago? I would love Tommy Fleetwood to really perform incredibly well at one of those. And then also for the Open, obviously my heart again wants Tommy Fleetwood to do so well. For the Open, I'm gonna say then Minwoo Lee. Why not? He's an unbelievable talent. He can hit every ball flight you can imagine. And then I think there's going to be a shock winner somewhere along the line, someone that none of us expect to win. Either does Phil Mickelson, I'm not saying he, but does someone who maybe has found a spark later on in the career, who can actually go and win a major tournament. Who knows? But I think the 4 majors this year are going to be hugely exciting, and I can't wait to watch all of them. Yeah, it's quite a simple one for me. I'd want to change the rule of you should be able to take GUR relief from a divot. I think it's the stupidest rule in golf that you can hit a great shot straight down the middle of the fairway when you're both finishing a divot and you can't take relief. That for me is the one thing I'd like to change, and then also to make it more accessible. One of our brand missions is to open up the game to all. We want to open up the game to as many people as possible. We do that by making free engaging content online. And the amount of messages we receive from all parts of the world to say we got into golf through watching your videos. I've now gone to the driving range. You've kind of opened up the game to me. That's something that we're really passionate about. So I want to open up every golf club as possible and, invite as many people along to at least try golf, and hopefully they'll love it as much as we do. I think getting kids into the game is vital. I've got 3 kids myself. They're 9, 7 and 5. I started playing golf when I was 11. I was quite a late bloomer. I kind of played football up until about 11. Accidentally fell into golf, to be honest. My mum started playing golf kind of randomly, really, and kind of got me into it. But I feel like, obviously the kids are the future of the game, and I know how much benefit it gives young people. I felt like I matured very quickly by growing up around the golf course, growing up playing with members of the golf club. You learn how to be respectful, how to be well-mannered, how to shake hands, how to take your hat off in the clubhouse, all those little touches that are really important life lessons. So for me, I'm desperate to try and get my kids into golf. That they're thoroughly enjoying what we do at the moment, going down to the driving range, have a bit of fun. But it's kind of that next step, like how do they get out on the golf course? How do they really start to progress? That's if they want to as well. I don't want to be pushy, but I know how much benefits there are in golf, and I hope my kids follow suit as well. Respecting golf is vital. It's unbelievably important. The dress code is much more relaxed. Golf courses are more accessible. There's not as many barriers on the front of golf clubs now. They've kind of been squashed at certain places. Our sport gives so much, and we need to be open as possible to bring as many people from all different backgrounds, and that's from a diversity standpoint, a class standpoint. Golf is open for everyone, and we need to make sure that either facilities are open to that, or we build and create facilities that are open for more people. A dream fourball would be, Tiger Woods is straight in there because obviously he got me into golf. Not that he personally got me into golf, but my mum did that. But Tiger was someone who obviously at the time when I started golf, it was 1997. He obviously just won the Masters for the first time. He was inspirational. You wanted to root for him. You felt like, there was someone there that you just kind of look up to. So that was obviously, he's straight in my fourball. And then I'd probably go, and it's a somewhat controversial one. Will Smith is like a favourite of mine. I love him as an actor. I'd love Will Smith in there as well. And then probably like a comedian would be quite good to bring a bit of banter. Maybe someone like, Will Smith's pretty funny anyway, but who would be a good fourth? I'm actually going to throw in someone like a DJ Khaled or a Justin Timberlake style, like someone who kind of brings the vibes and can DJ for the round of golf. And obviously we're going to play at Augusta National. That's a standard. And then, just vibe and have a good time. And me and Tiger take on the other two and hopefully win. For me, I've had many, many opportunities to receive heartwarming messages from fans around the world. And as much as I can't respond to everyone, I pretty much read all the emails, all the messages, and the amount of golfers have got into, or people who have got into golf by watching the videos, and they tell me like it's got them out of depression, or it's got them out of sticky situations with either relationships, or they've found that they've become less lonely and they found friends through golf. Like, they're the really heartwarming stories to me. It's not the guy, as much as I love these messages, it's not the guy or girl that tells me they broke 90 for the first time. It's the heartwarming message from the people around the world who says, certainly with the last 4 years that we've had with the pandemic, etc., going, golf has been my escape. And I wouldn't have got into golf if I hadn't watched your video. So those messages are really heartwarming. They're kind of really inspire me. I've got quite a few snapshots on my phone of those messages as well to kind of like remind myself almost why we're doing it. But yeah, all those kind of messages really do hit home and make everything worthwhile.